Art Speak interns on seeing gender. How have you seen gender expression vary across cultures?
Starting from when I was really young, I have always been a huge fan of watching Chinese dramas and just Chinese media in general. So I feel like that definitely gave me a different perception of a different culture that might see gender differently. So especially in Chinese media and these ancient Chinese dramas, the costumes for men is completely different. Men have really long hair and they wear very feminine, flowy clothes. And to me, that's always been seen as that's a whole totally different beauty standard that I got to interact with. So I think I'm very grateful to be able to see that other side of things. And it allows me to appreciate a different idea of masculinity.
In my classes, we've kind of been talking a little bit about the feminizing or the emasculation of Asian men in comparison to European men, kind of during this process of colonialization that happened in the Middle East and in East Asia as well. And one example is hair length, because I think in Asian societies, having longer hair was really a symbol of status. And that since then has really been caricaturized in Western society, especially in California, cartoons with the gold rush. Chinese men were really ostracized for having long hair, even though back home for them, that was really significant and really important. And that is really frustrating to see, because these Western beliefs that have kind of disseminated into different cultures are just kind of destroying the cultural framework around gender that exists in other societies. And that is used as a tool for racism and as a tool for colonization.
In the United States, I think gender identity is often equated with, or associated at least, with sexual identity, which can lead to a lot of homophobia and internalized homophobia. And I think I've just really seen this in my own experiences, that if someone is perceived as less masculine or less feminine based on their physical appearance, their interests, the way they speak and the way they dress, there's this immediate assumption that comes to people's minds that they're not straight and they're not heterosexual, which is why I think things like toxic masculinity and homophobia are two incredibly linked issues. And then I think that's why this Seeing Gender exhibition is really important, because in so many ancient and past cultures, gender roles and gender expression look so different from the expectations there are today.
I remember learning about the Buddha is always depicted with these stretched earlobes, because in his life as a prince, he would wear these really heavy earrings and jewelry. In Egypt, they wore kohl eyeliner. And that was a symbol of status for men and a symbol of power to wear jewelry. And so as I learn about these different ways that gender has manifested itself that aren't just the Western perspective that I learned, it just allows me to deconstruct that. And gender is not some set in stone concrete thing that everybody is just born intrinsically knowing. It is a force that is totally shaped by the society that we live in, by the time period that we live in, by what we value for beauty and for status.
Hopefully, one day we'll be able to have a society in different cultures across the world be able to support and include everybody, regardless of the extent that they would like to express their gender.
Learn more about the Art Speak internship at about.asianart.org/art-speak and on Instagram at artspeakinterns. Credits: Art Speak interns and interviewees: Ollie Axelrod, Athena Chang, Ida Handwerker, Caden Honda, Athene Lejeunesse, Mindy Luo, Sophia Shen, Zora Ueda Hale, Sophia Valdez, Isha Venkatesh. Interviewer, Triana Patel. Editor, Lorraine Goodwin. Advisors, Maya Hara, Joanna Lee, Megan Merritt, Allison Wyckoff. Copyright 2021 Asian Art Museum. www.asianart.org